Hey there, everybody. Back in the saddle here. Just need to get logged in. The way I do it this way, I have to log in. It's automated, so it's not too bad. Hold on a second. Okay. Oh. All right. There we go. And let me sit on down here and get acquainted with everybody. All right. So let's position that camera. It's been a second since we've positioned the camera. So thank you guys for coming to this live. I know I've been gone for a minute. I was hitting that burnout stage we've talked about before. And I feel like with me, when I hit that stage, I just got to take a break for a minute. I will come back, but I got to take a break. So let's start shuffling our cards here. See what we can get. Okay. All right. Let's move stuff over. See, is our incense still going? Yep, we got our incense going. We got everything else going too. There we go. Let's take a drink here. Okay, guys, so let's get started. I know for once I was on time, so that's going to be a shocker to everyone. I'm even confused. But I think we'll be all right. Let's do this here. Let's shuffle, see what we can get. And if you guys want to, the same title for this channel, right? Angelus Chiron. You guys can look that up on Instagram and follow me on there. I'm going to be posting more stuff. I posted a reel. Me and my girlfriend and my dad went hiking and got to see a beautiful, gorgeous waterfall. I made it my screensaver. And it's great to me. I look at this and I'm like, I took that picture because it really is gorgeous. But that's where we were. Sorry, that's where we were at right there. Beautiful spot, and that's right in Utah. I mean, that's just gorgeous, isn't it? And you had the waterfall, the sound, the energy up there, right? I didn't feel as much energy as I did kind of like I felt spirits a little bit, but not necessarily the natural energy, if that makes any sense. Sometimes you're tuned in and sometimes not as much, but I did feel some spirits. Nothing too specific though, there. Kind of like a little pop or burst of energy here and there. All right, let's shuffle here. There we go. Shuffle again. Nice, there we go. Okay. Let's do a few more and then we'll do our, let's do August, no, August. See, I'm still on that timeline. Let's do September 7th and the 8th, because it's the 6th today. So let's do September 7th and the 8th. And then we can jump into questions. All right, September 7th and the 8th. Okay, September 7th and the 8th. Start with the 7th first. I believe I've shuffled all the decks. I'll do this one though, just in case. How was everybody's last few weeks? Hopefully everyone had some good weeks. I was gone for a minute. There's some new stuff on the bottom of the screen here. YouTube's been doing some updating, it looks like. So I was just looking, custom emojis and polls down at the bottom. Underneath where you can enter text. Okay, well, I think we're good to go. So let's do September 7th and September 8th. And go from there. So September 7th. We'll do 2 piles again, okay? And I'm just going to lay the cards out here. Okay, so pile 1 for September 7th. We have got King of Wands. Okay, so this one's interesting, and this one reminds me of, I've said it before, there's a couple cards that look like Sean Penn a little bit. This one kind of reminds me of that kind of look. It's hard to see his face though, but so we have the King of Wands right here, okay? Daughter of Wands, okay? This deck right here describes the Daughter of Wands as being kind of a manipulative card or like a liar card, right? And then we have all tied up in reverse. So these cards here, Daughter of Wands, King of Wands. So we're looking at the Page of Wands, the King of Wands, and then all tied up in reverse. So we could be using an excuse for a Sagittarius, Leo, or an Aries to take advantage of us. We could be making excuses for them, right? We could be saying, oh, well, they've had a hard day, they've done this, they've done that. But what I feel like could be going on here is that these people we've made excuses for. We've let them in our lives, and it's kind of hard to let go now. Maybe it feels like it's too late to let go. It feels like it's too difficult. And so with this kind of energy here, it's one of those things that's going to be almost essential for you to let go of people that are kind of holding us back, because I feel like we're not even seeing that it's an issue. That's how kind of enamored with the situation I suppose we are. I see all tied up in reverse, which to me is feeling like these fire signs could be entangling us. They could be doing something where we're not feeling in the flow. We're not feeling that sense of like, oh, I've got this kind of feeling from these people. Instead, we could be surrounding ourselves with there's two scenarios here that I'll go into. We could be surrounding ourselves with someone who is maybe they're young and they don't necessarily know what they're doing, right? And they're a fire sign, and they could be acting in a manipulative way, or they could be acting in a certain way. But at certain ages, that's actually okay for you to act that way. You don't really have the resources to act any other way. And so if they're a younger sign, if they're a younger fire sign, I would say just talk to them about their behavior and kind of go on from there, right? The King of Wands, though, being here, Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries for either of these. The King of Wands being here, though, is telling me that there could also be another fire sign that's around us, an older fire sign, and this person would be someone who maybe could be limiting our sense of self-advancement. But again, I don't necessarily think it could be on purpose. There could be good intentions behind the way the person is acting somewhat, but it does not mean that someone gets to control our life. We get to kind of be in charge of that. Other people have their lives, we got ours, you know? And so that's kind of the thing that I'm seeing here. So if someone is coming in and they're kind of busting your chops down and dirty, you don't want that, right? So I would say let yourself be expressive. Let yourself say what's on your mind. Let yourself communicate so that other people know where you stand. That's kind of the important thing there. So yeah, that is what I'm seeing here, you guys. So on 1 second. Sorry, guys. Hold on. I wish my phone would tell me why it makes that sound. Sometimes I just don't get it. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so yeah, that's what I've got so far. But let's look at this other one. So that was for Tuesday. You would understand, you guys, this chair, you sit in it. It's an interesting ride. I love this chair. It's a good chair, but I guess I sit funny. So maybe I need a funny chair to sit in. We'll see. We will see what I can do that way. Okay, so September 7th. Okay, here's the other part of the reading. Hey, Amber, I am doing great. How are you? And yes, I'm glad to be back. I am glad to be back. Hopefully things have been going okay for you, my friend. It has been almost a month. So we have 9 of coins. And feel free to talk to me, Amber, while I'm doing this. Father of Swords, if you want. And the Temple Path in reverse. Temple Path in reverse, 9 of coins, Father of Swords. How I could see this is maybe we're not leading as much of a spiritual life as we want to have, but we could have some financial security coming our way. There could be there could be a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius individual coming into our life, maybe helping us with some financial kind of things, or giving us a loan, or letting us start out in some way. That's what I'm feeling here. The words hot or heat are also coming in here as well. And so maybe there could be a connection with this person, maybe not just a benefactor, but someone who we could be in a relationship with possibly. But when it's like hot, heat, I don't necessarily know if the romance side is there, or I feel like the passionate side is there, don't know so much about the romance side. But that's what I'm seeing, or what I'm feeling. The name, maybe Talon, or a name with a T, is what I'm getting here. But that's what I'm feeling here. There's this benefactor kind of figure. There's something that could be going on that way. We may not be following a spiritual path, like I said before, but I do feel like we're having advancement. We're having success in other endeavors in life. And so, to me, this is good. This is really good right here. So, like I said, Father of Swords energy. This is King of Swords in any other deck, okay? Father of Swords right there. Camera will focus. Then we have the 9 of coins. The Temple Path in reverse. Okay, and that's what's making me say the spiritual part. That's what's making me be like, okay, the spiritual side of this, something's going on here. The Temple Path is a card where it kind of reminds me of, it's like a hopeful spiritual card, or it's like disciplining ourselves, doing some spiritual practices, focusing on being the observer in our reality. That's what I say when I mean this. I don't mean like a religious thing when I say the Temple Path or spiritual. I mean, to me, spirituality is observing life as it is, not as we want it to be, not under the guise of some sort of mono god up above us kind of a thing. Nothing like that. It's just observing and allowing ourselves to be in the present moment and just being in that space. At least to me, that's what it means. So be on the lookout, or this is for tomorrow. Maybe something could come up tomorrow, but there could be something interesting happening with your finances come maybe tomorrow or 5 or 6 days after. For some reason, I'm being shown 5 or 6 days after whatever it is we're talking about here. So there could be this benefactor person. There could be something coming up where we meet this person 5, 6 days after. Okay, so let's go on to the other stuff here. Hold on. Just getting them kind of pre-shuffled here. So while I'm shuffling, Amber, been an interesting month, huh? You can tell me a little more if you feel comfortable. Oh, hit my microphone. There we go. Because I gotta be shuffling these cards. And then we'll do one more reading for tomorrow, or for Wednesday, and then that's good. That'll be it then. Let me look at something here. Couple more shuffles here. Well, more than a couple. I gotta shuffle other decks here. Man, Amber, you always are. You always seem like you're very busy, right? So that's good. It's good to have different directions to be pulled in sometimes, but every now and again we need to take a step back. I know I do. I get burned out really easy, it seems like. But it's good. Hopefully you've had a good rest day so far. Okay, let's do this here. I'm just going to be doing, I think from now on, Amber, just so you know, because you're one of my regulars that come on here, I'm going to be still doing Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but it's going to be 8 to 11 or 8 to 10. So there'll be 2 or 3 hours instead of 5 to sometimes 6 or 7 hours. So I'm just going to be doing it less so that I don't get as burned out, just so you guys know. So when I come on here, it will be significantly shorter, but I'll still be doing it. Okay, so let's do these ones here. Okay. So let's do this. Okay, so let's look at pile 1 here. This is interesting. So this is for Wednesday, okay? So we have walking away in reverse, which would be coming towards you. That's how I view it. Walking away in reverse, it's kind of like the Michael Jackson moonwalk situation. You know, we're kind of scooching on over. We're seeing what's going on here. Then, though, we get this, the fountain in reverse, okay? And then we get 10 of cups upright. So, here's what I'm seeing, everybody. We've got... No, there isn't, Amber. Hold on one second. Let me see. Oh. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Okay, and you kept the same rate. Good, good, good. So yes, $7 a question and perfect. Perfect. Okay. So let me add you to the list here, Amber. It's been a while since we've done this, hasn't it? Okay. Okay. All right, Amber. Let me do this here. Let me do these readings. You know the drill. We've done this many times. Let me do these readings here. I got this pile to read, then I got this other one, and then we can jump straight to your question, okay? So not too much longer. But I know you're patient. You've waited a very long time to get your questions answered sometimes. Okay. Okay, so we have 10 of Cups. We have the Fountain in reverse, walking away in reverse. So we could be walking away from a situation that could be good for us. I feel like maybe we're walking away because we're frustrated. Maybe we're walking away because we just don't feel like we're hitting where we need to be yet. But that to me is why I feel like this could be something bad to walk away from, is we're turning our back on something that could possibly be very good and beneficial for us, but maybe in the time we don't know it. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what has been happening with ourselves yet. And when I say we don't know what's been happening with ourselves, I mean in this kind of situation, if we're walking away from an opportunity, generally it's because something could be clouding our vision, or something could be making us think, I should do this, I should do this, because maybe a more attractive offer has come up, maybe a more attractive kind of proposition has popped up, and the things that were once there before we're casting off to the wayside. That could be a situation that we're going into. We could be walking away from something. We could be staying in a situation where we don't feel like we're happy. That's another way that we can read it too. Because when I see walking away in reverse and the Fountain in reverse, so the Fountain, this card is unique to this deck, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay. And there's an infinity symbol up there. So the Fountain in reverse, we are not allowing ourselves to just be. We're not allowing ourselves to just experience life. I feel like we have to experience life in a way that is properly expressed, if that makes any sense. I feel like there's a tendency for us to look at life in a way where we want it to be as least as I'm trying to think how to word this sentence because I'm having a hard time saying it. We want to live life in a way where there's no messy moments. And because of that, and because of our attention to detail, maybe excruciatingly so, we make it so that living life becomes laborious. It becomes kind of a drudgery, because we're not focused on allowing ourselves to just be in the moment. We're focused on hitting the next milestone, or we're focused on hitting the next level, right? Instead of focusing on what we have now, we're focusing on what we could have in the future. And that can be good. That can be good because it's what drives us, it's what pushes us. But what will happen is sometimes we get way too caught up in what's going to happen in the future. And in the meantime, the present keeps slipping away. There is no future right now. There isn't. We're not guaranteed anything. We're not promised anything in this life. I could die on stream. Things can happen. Things can just happen. And we're not promised or guaranteed anything. And so what I'm trying to say is allow yourself to be in the moment. Allow yourself to feel like things are working for you. Sometimes we set such lofty goals and we fail to realize the little achievements that we've hit along the way. And because we've set such lofty goals, we only want to register big successes or big failures as changes in life. And I feel like that's missing the point of living. When we're waiting for the big things to happen, there has to be little things. There has to be for the big things to happen. And if we're present with the little stuff, we can be much more present with the bigger stuff. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with this. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. hold on 1 second here. Okay, so now let's move this over here to this other pile and see what we get. Okay, so here is what we got for Wednesday. This is the second pile here. You can read these as separate, or you can combine the two and maybe make your own message from it. But here's what we got here. So we got the Three of Wands. The Two of Swords in reverse. And Door to Spirit. I feel like a spirit is paying us a visit. Maybe a sea name, maybe someone who liked to drink. Male is what I'm feeling. There was a little hint of booze in the air. I could smell alcohol. Pretty strong. And yeah, so that was interesting. All right, so we have Three of Wands, Two of Swords in reverse, and Door to Spirit. So how I would read this is Three of Wands is kind of building a foundation, working together to achieve something, being passionate, right? That's a really good card to have. Two of Swords in reverse, again, this is in that situation where we're not allowing ourselves to think outside the box. For some reason, we're thinking in the box. We're only allowing ourselves to think in the box. The name Georgia comes to mind, or the place, like Georgia, well, just Georgia, comes to mind. But when I'm seeing these right here, when I'm seeing these kind of situations, Two of Swords in reverse, Three of Wands, it's making me think we don't know what we don't know. So we don't understand the situation fully for what it is, and we keep trying to think about the situation the same way. We're not even thinking about it differently. We're focusing on just one approach. That one approach isn't working, and we're thinking, well, I've done everything I could, but we really haven't. We haven't exhausted all of our resources. I feel like we're thinking way too in the box at this point in time, and because of that, it's hard to fix the box that we're thinking in if we don't know we're in a box to begin with, right? And so that's something that we're focused on here. Door to Spirit, this is a good card right here. This one is not in reverse. Having a hard time saying that. But with this card, I'm hearing the words promise and hope. That's one thing that I'm hearing right here. Promise and hope, and again, it's kind of a fiery energy, passionate energy. This to me is really good. This is a really good card for us to have because it focuses on us understanding that the universe has our back on some level. It does feel like there's difficult times, but because we're allowing ourselves to feel those difficult times, we can allow ourselves to feel the happy times. We can allow ourselves to feel the light and the dark, because both of those, without one another, they don't mean anything. There has to be duality in this reality. That's kind of how it works. So, and from that duality, we can learn, right? I said before, we learn in this world through comparisons. That's primarily the way we learn. We learn what we like by what we don't like. We learn what we love by what we hate. We learn dark. We learn light. We learn. You guys get the thing here. So the dualistic part of this reality is to help teach us lessons and to help us grow as spiritual beings, right? It's allowing us the ability to stick with one choice, stay with it, see what happens, and kind of live and experience life through that way. The dualistic reality gives us choice. It gives us free will. Okay, so Door to Spirit here. So that's what I'm seeing there. So Wednesday could be a day where we're really having a difficult time understanding the opportunities that are given to us. But on the other end of that, we're also having a difficult time being present with the opportunities that we already have, completely. We're allowing ourselves to get distracted rather easy. It would be the way I would describe it. But also, that's kind of how life is, right? We do allow ourselves to get distracted. Anytime I do these readings, I don't want it to sound like I'm reading negatively when I'm talking about something, even if the reading seems to be necessarily not the best reading. Everything is for us to learn, right? I don't think there's any negativity. It's just some lessons are a little harder than others. Let's say that right there. And I think you guys can definitely understand that. So hold on here. All right, Amber. Ask your question, and I will be right back, okay? I'm just gonna... Thank you, Rada. I appreciate that. That's awesome. How are you doing? I haven't seen you for quite a while, and I took a break for almost a month, and so I have not seen you for a minute. Hopefully, you're doing okay. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I will be right back, okay? So hold tight, guys. Oh, geez. Not seen you for a while. I just wanted to give some feedback. You said mid-August. Awesome. Thank you, the disciple. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Sorry about the level 4 lockdown. When there's levels to the lockdown, you know something's going on, right? I don't want to know what level 5 or 6 is. Okay, so Amber says... Okay. I'm glad to hear that, the disciple. Oh, okay. Okay, the Delta variant. Wow. Oh, it's an interesting world we're living in, right? Hey, Kirill, I'm doing good. How are you? How's everything going? It's been a minute, hasn't it? Almost a month-long break. I'll answer Amber's question here, and then, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to answer Amber's question. You guys can talk to each other, or talk to me. I'm just going to be focusing on hers because it's a paid question, and then we can talk again here in just a minute, okay? Just want to give presence to this. Okay, so Amber says, recently reconnected with RJ. He has heavily pursued me over the past 3 weeks and conveyed strong interest. Let's see. We went on a date and I recently had him over for dinner after becoming a lot closer. Now he's not responding at all. What is the future of our connection? Okay, so let's look at that, Amber, and let's see what we can find out here. Give me 1 second. Let me get these shuffled. And I'm sorry to hear that, Kiru. We could do some energy healing here. I do offer some energy healings that I do on the channel as well, so if you want to do that, we could definitely do that. But let's look at the connection between RJ and Amber. Let's see what we got going on here. So, what are RJ's... Actually, let me do these ones. Let's do the energy ones. What are RJ's feelings towards Amber? RJ's feelings towards Amber. Okay, RJ's feelings towards Amber. Well, I do see financial constraints and second chakra Archangel Michael in reverse. These two cards right here. There could be something going on here, but it feels to me like, because then I get the thinking woman right here. Right, he's not responding at all. I would say, Amber, from what I'm seeing here, keep a low profile with this. Maybe no more messages, no more anything like that. There could be the fact that he could be busy at work. I'm not feeling it's a bad connection with RJ, but I'm feeling like there's something here where he seems preoccupied. He seems, he says it's work. You feel like there's something more. I would say trust that feeling that there could be something more. I don't necessarily feel that it's a person, but it feels to me like this person doesn't know how to say no to, like the workaholic part of it, running from their own emotions in a way. I feel like this person doesn't know how to say no or set time for themselves to experience their own emotions, if that makes sense. It's kind of like people sit with their thoughts and they allow themselves to feel what's going on. I feel like RJ seems to be someone who is always trying to keep himself busy, or he's always trying to do something like that. So maybe something could be going on in his world where he's being more forced to feel emotions. He's being more forced to feel a sense of, how would I put this? I've got it in my mind. If I could give you guys the thought that I'm having, maybe you would understand it. But it feels like there's a bottle and things are kind of unleashing with RJ. So I feel like there's some sort of surge of emotion or surge of different things going on in this person's life, and he's not able to respond or ignore what's going on anymore with himself. But it does feel like there's some sort of change, not like a spiritual change necessarily, but more like it just feels like they're put in a situation where they have to do something very differently. So I feel like that could be a more emotional situation here. So the future of your connection. So that kind of set up the story. Let's look at the future of the connection here. Future of the connection will be, let's see. So I get goddess of the moon right here. So subconsciously, I do feel like something's going on. So right now, the connection is going to be more passive for you, Amber. I don't feel like there's going to be as much of a part of him in the relationship as much because he's taking more of a passive role. I don't feel like this is necessarily a bad thing. You get to see what's going on. You're not too involved where if something were to happen, it would be catastrophic, but you're also kind of left hanging on and you're left wondering what's going on. I'd say give it some time, maybe a week, 2 weeks. If he's still being this elusive and being this kind of thing, then I would say ask him point blank. Like set up a date, set up a time if you can, if he's responding, and see what's going on with him and ask. And if he doesn't want to tell you, has nothing to do with you, right? That's him not being able to understand his own emotions, his own kind of pull, right? And when I say pull, I am describing the moon. I am describing the way the moon pulls the tides, the way there is an orbit that kind of happens. And he needs to allow himself to sort of feel in the first place. So how does he feel about you, Amber? So we get 7th chakra. I'm going to draw 2 cards. Here's something interesting. So we get 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, and then we get this. We get walking away. Okay, 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, walking away. And what I'm feeling here is I feel like you guys will be meeting up again. I feel like there's a connection here, but it does feel like right now it's kind of tumultuous on his end, right? And you said you've been busy as well. I'm sure it's kind of hard to come together and to get things going. I do feel like he'll come back into your life again, but for now it feels like he's taking a step back. It does feel like he's taking a step back, possibly not wanting to involve you in something, or maybe just because this person doesn't know how to handle that kind of energy. So I feel like he sees you in good regard. I don't feel like there's anything bad here. I don't feel like he sees you as a negative person or this or that or whatever, but something is blocking the connection at this point in time. That doesn't mean there won't be a connection. That just means at this point in time, the connection is going to be more difficult, right? So I think he holds you in high esteem. I don't think he thinks anything negative of you. I would say, like I said, give it a week, 2 weeks, kind of see how the situation is developing. If he really is not talking or not being communicative, then kind of close the door on that part of your life if that's something you want to do. But let him, let him and let yourself know, stand up for yourself, say things you will or won't tolerate in a possible relationship. But at this point in time, sort of figure each other out. And I feel like right now is a good way for you to figure him out to some extent, to see how he responds and how he reacts or how he doesn't. But give it time, like I said, week, 2 weeks, and let's see what happens there. But I don't think he holds you in a negative way. I just feel like right now is not the time for there to be a joining of that, if that makes sense. So hopefully that helps answer your question, Amber. I just, with this card here, I don't necessarily get that negative feeling. I don't get a bad feeling, but I also feel like it's just not quite, yeah. Yeah, it just feels like such a drastic turn because he was the main one pushing things forward. And that's an interesting thing that you said that, because like I said, we got the goddess of the moon. And the way this one relates is now, I feel like he thinks you're very smart. We did get the thinking woman, okay? He thinks you're smart. He thinks you have intelligence. He thinks you're let me put it that way. He thinks you're a wise person, right? The returning of this person, it's going to be a minute, like I said. Goddess of the moon, right here. is the divine feminine. So where he was the divine masculine and like the sunshine, the rays come through the clouds and they're in that way. They're pushing out light. There's light kind of going everywhere. However, with the moon's glow, with the divine feminine, I see this right here. Financial constraints in reverse. But when I saw that, we were focusing on what I felt like was going on with him at the very start, because that's kind of where I wanted to start it out at. So I feel like financially, you're saying he's making more, but it feels to me like the more you make, the more you're going to want to keep making it. So there could be stress around this person and their finances for them, like their financial kind of thing. Like I said, I feel like there could be workaholic tendencies, kind of a thing. And so that would make it difficult for this person to kind of be able to turn that off, so to speak. But that's what I'm feeling there. But the divine feminine that I was talking about here, that's going to be something moving forward that you can use right now. So allow yourself to observe the situation, how it is. And hey, Sabrina K. So if you want to do a question, you can see how I work here and go from there. But it's $10 for one question or $25 for 3. So if that feels like something you want to do, we can move ahead and do that. But welcome to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. But so Amber, right now is a time for observation. Right now is a time for you to observe and see how things are happening. Because he's not pushing things forward, it gives you a chance to let your own kind of self come in and look at what exactly has been going on. So not a bad thing right now. I don't get bad vibes, just like I said, feels like it could be a second for there to be a connection. Does that help, Amber? Hopefully that helps answer that question for you. Oh, thank you, Disciple. Okay. You're very welcome, Amber. You're very, very welcome, my friend. Okay, Disciple, it's your turn. I know your name. I'm not going to use it, though. I'll just use Disciple. Hello, Alexis. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. If you want, you would be after Shannon. I do $10 a question. So if you feel like you can do that, you would be after Disciple. Shoot. Disciple. So sorry. Okay, okay, so Rada, you did, let's see, so one question for Patreon. You're at the $10 tier. And hello, Gigi. You are so good. You're so good, Gigi. We could do $7 for one question. That's what I've got Amber on. She does $7 a question. $7 for one question, or it's okay, don't mind my real name being out there. Okay, good. Because I was clenching every muscle when I said it. I was like, oh, shoot. Okay. So it's $7 for one question. If you want to do 3 questions, it would be 18. So you would actually save quite a bit if you wanted to do 3. It just depends on what you're thinking of doing. So you let me know. But you do get the discount if you're a Patreon subscriber. At least you find that funny. You find that funny. I'm personally living that. And sometimes it's funny too. I look at myself and I say, oh, you're a neurotic mess. All right. So, let's do this here. All right. So you said, yes, you are, Rada. You are a Patreon. Absolutely. That's why it's $7 for you per question. And then instead of it being $21 for 3 questions, it would be $18 for 3 questions. Because I lowered the prices even more on that one. So it would be $7 for 1 question. Okay. Hold on 1 second here. All right. Yeah, we can look at that, Rada. Okay. You're after Shannon, which I'm reading now. Okay. So, Shannon says, just wondering if Maya's intentions for me are genuine. Okay, so let's look at that. Let's look at that for you, my friend. Are Maya's intentions for you genuine? Okay. Are Maya's intentions for Shannon genuine? One more. I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, Maya could be a little more elusive. I felt like I was grabbing smoke. And also, Maya means illusion. That's interesting, isn't it? But that was something I was feeling. And then I'm seeing animals for some reason around her. I feel like a dog, maybe, but I was seeing animals around this person. Okay. Ooh, full of creaks and cracks tonight. So are these feelings okay. Is Maya's intentions genuine for Shannon? Are Maya's intentions genuine for Shannon? It should just be hard-headed Capricorn. Okay. That's you putting it lightly, huh? Calling them hard-headed? All right. So Rada, the Cashapp should just... Because I know we've done this before, but I can't remember if you... Well, hold on. Let me say it like this. So we get... I'm hearing the word bishop as well. The word bishop. I don't know if this person's religious. The thinking woman in reverse, angel of strength in reverse, and victory in reverse. And then I'll tell you here in just a second, Rada, what we can do. Okay, but these 3 cards being in reverse, and from what I'm feeling, it's making me feel like the person doesn't have mature feelings, if that makes sense. So there's not a lot to go off of here. Victory in reverse, thinking woman in reverse, angel of strength in reverse. If anything, maybe this person is having you... Okay, she's really into the Muslim faith. Okay. Okay. So the religious aspect, that makes sense. Okay. So one of the things I would say here is that it does not feel that she has the same kind of intentions that I would say you would have. I feel like you're more genuine with your sense of self-expression. This person feels... I feel like they don't understand emotion the same way you do, if that makes any sense. I'm wondering if they're a lot younger than you, because what I'm feeling is someone that feels emotionally stunted, like in... It kind of feels like it's in their teens. Maybe not as far back as that, but it feels like someone who is still learning who they are. They're still discovering themselves in a big way, but also I feel like they view emotions as more messy things that maybe they don't want to be a part of necessarily. And Capricorn is a sign... No, hold on. Now I'm feeling a pain in the back of my head right here. That's interesting. Pain in the back of my head. I almost felt nauseous for a second. How have you been feeling, Shannon? Have you been feeling okay? That pain in the back of my head, that... And then I keep getting... something. It's not just... I want to say this, Shannon. It's not just you she doesn't trust. When I'm looking at these cards, something must have happened where it's much harder for her to trust people or her own intuition. That's what I'm feeling here. The number 17 is coming into my head as well. And then my heart, now I'm feeling like super jazzed for some reason. There's a lot of energy here, and so I'm wondering where that's coming from. Okay, so you ate ice cream. You're dairy intolerant. I am sorry to hear that. But if you know you're dairy intolerant, you know what though? Ice cream is hard to say no to, right? I understand. Ben and Jerry's Cherry Garcia. That does it for me. There's another one too, but that's like the main one. Yeah, but it's not... Okay, her ex left her on bad terms. I can understand that. I can understand that. So Angel of Strength in reverse, the Thinking Woman in reverse, Victory in reverse. So these things right here, it feels like it's going to take this person time to really understand what happened. Oh, Rada likes the Cherry Garcia. Yes, Cherry Garcia is the best. Cherry Garcia. Don't even get me started here. It's delicious. Can't remember the other one. Yeah, I was feeling really high energy there, and then that kind of tapered off, so that's good, because I felt like I wanted to explode out of my skin. And I don't think anyone wants to see that. Maybe a little bit. I'd be curious just for a second. And he cheated on her, so trust is a big thing for her. Makes a ton of sense. Ton of sense. This person is trying to think their way out of situations that they should be feeling instead. They should allow themselves to feel what happened and slowly let themselves get over that in their own time, right? But right now, they're not trusting anything, and they're trying to think their way out of something. They're trying to think their way out of something that they should emotionally be riding through, and that's what I'm feeling like is going on with this person at this point in time. And there can be certain things that kind of block us from hitting those other levels of understanding. This right here, though, I want to say it like this because to me this makes sense, right? Everyone's here to learn lessons. Nobody's here just for no reason at all. We're all here to learn lessons. And even though some things can happen that seem cruel and they seem unnecessary, we learn something from them and they shape our character, and we can learn to feel things on a deeper level. Yeah, exactly. I have to tell her many times that she has to trust me. It's a constant battle. Makes sense. Makes sense that it's a constant battle. Um, so, and it's hard in that situation where it's like you're constantly thinking of what you need to do or how you need to do it with this person. The best thing to do, Shannon, is over time show her that you will do what you say you will do. Show her that she can depend on you. You can say it as many times as you want. You can preach it, as loud as you can. You can scream it directly in her ear. I wouldn't advise that. You only get to do it once. I'm sure she'd be pissed. But what you can do is over time, you can show her that you're someone that can be relied upon. And that doesn't come from words, that comes from action that's repeated. And eventually it will work its way into her conscious and her subconscious that you are someone who she can depend on, right? Because this person has, the way I would describe it is, and maybe it's weird for me to say it this way. Maybe it's weird for me to say it this way, but hopefully you'll understand what I mean. When we go to an animal shelter, there's animals that have been abused. There's animals that do not understand, what exactly is going on. And I feel like Maya at this point in her life is like that abused animal. So you bring her home, you give her food, you give her love, you give her attention, and she's still just kind of shaking in the corner, right? Not her, Maya's not necessarily shaking. I feel like she puts on more of a front with some things. But it's one of those things that it just takes time and care for things to move in the direction we want them to move in. So it just takes that trust. And I feel like you're doing a good thing. You're trying. But right now, it just feels like there's a lot going on where she's not able to give the same thing to you that you could possibly give to her because of what's happened. She's still trying to make sense of it by not feeling it as much. So hopefully, Shannon, that helps answer your question. Okay. See, that's a good one too. That's good to have. If she's sensitive and cries, that's good too. But I'm wondering if, because when I was reading the energy, it felt like she's blocking off parts of it. But again, that's for her to discover as she goes along. But you're very welcome. You're very welcome, Shannon. Thank you for stopping by the channel. I appreciate that and your contribution. So thank you. Now my head's feeling all balloon-like. That's it's interesting, isn't it? Okay, so Radha, let me see here what we can do. So there's Cash App. There is PayPal. Radha, I don't know if you've used PayPal. I can't remember if you've used that. I think you've only used the Super Chat before to pay, if I'm right. I can't remember. Okay. So, Cash App isn't working. Could you try? Okay. Yeah, good. No, awesome. Okay, Kiru, you take care, okay? Have a good one, and I'm sorry you're in pain. I'm sorry that's happening, but hopefully you start feeling better soon. Okay, perfect. Perfect. I feel like that'll be a little easier too. That's why I have a third method of payment, but I don't really use it that much. I might even have a fourth method, but again, if worse comes to worse, we can just do the super chat. But PayPal should work without any issue. Okay. I'm gonna take a drink here. Okay, I'm gonna log in here to this. So. Okay, I'm logged in. Perfect. Nope. You are just fine, Rada. Do not worry about it. Don't you worry. Okay. You're just fine. Don't worry about that. Okay. So I did have these. These are interesting right here. You guys will find these interesting, I think. So I was telling you, I went on a. Come on now. Come on. There we go. Okay. So I was telling you, I went on a hike, right? At the start of the video, if you guys weren't here for it, I went on a hike Saturday, right? And it was beautiful. It was an amazing. Okay, the hike wasn't amazing, but the part after the hike was, and I'll show you guys what happened here. So we were hiking along, and we got to a waterfall, and it is absolutely stunning. I'll show you the picture I took, and I know this looks like a stock image. I know it doesn't look like I took this picture. This is how majestic it was. It's not that I'm a good photographer, it's that the landscape, it was just gorgeous. Anyway, so take a look at this. So that's the waterfall right there. And then you can see the rocks and you can see the moss and stuff growing around it. And it was absolutely, absolutely beautiful. I've got some video of it too. But I mean, just gorgeous up there. And then some different angles. This is when you zoom out a little bit further. You can see that coming down. And then let me find the video. Well, there we go. Okay, here's one. It's just beautiful up there. I mean, in a way, oh, it's gorgeous. And the smell of the water, the power of that waterfall, the charge of it. I didn't feel it as much. My girlfriend felt it a lot more. I felt spirits when we were up on the trailish part, right? Like spirits were kind of hanging around being like, what's going on here? But I didn't necessarily feel the kind of energy she was feeling. When we arrived at the waterfall, she said she felt very, very charged. And I didn't feel charged. I felt tired would be the way I would describe it. But still, it was incredible. It was an awesome, awesome day there. And if you guys want to, you can look at the reel I just posted. You can see it on your own phones. I have an Instagram, Angelus Chiron. So my Instagram is this. You guys can feel free to follow me on there. But yeah, I'm gonna be trying to post more stuff on Instagram. I have a few things I've posted, but I'm gonna try to keep up more on that and go from there. But it was gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. There's some beautiful spots in Utah, if you know where to look. Okay. So let me do this here. All right, I'm gonna go pee. I'll be right back, everybody. I'm gonna go take a little sprinkly tinkly, but I will be back. All right. I know you guys are disappointed to see me back. The empty room was a little more entertaining. That it's hard to live up to that. I will do my best though. Okay. All right. Let's get going here. Okay. And thank you for the follow. I don't want to say who followed, because, you know, that ain't up to me. But I do appreciate it. I'm going to try and get it going more and more on my Instagram, so just stay tuned, be on the lookout. Okay. All right, so yes, waterfalls are fun, if you guys are wondering. And it was an old mining like operation where in Utah, I think Utah, Colorado, well, Utah, we have what's called flour gold. And so our gold here is like, you don't get nuggets of gold here. Usually it's very flaky. It's called flour gold, right? And so that's an interesting thing. I think in Colorado and in California, there was more like solid nuggets of gold, but not so much here. There was silver. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that was mined here, but primarily the gold, not super great, but you never know, right? You never know. You could have a situation where there could be gold right under your feet and you wouldn't have any idea, right? How many times have we just been walking along and we passed a fortune under our feet and we had no idea? I think that's kind of an interesting thought. And I think there was a story where, this is kind of off topic, right? There is a mine that these people get diamonds out of, right? Kimberly mine. And what was funny, and I'm pretty sure it's a true story. What was funny is that the person that ran the mine, something Kimberly, right? He had no idea that right underneath his feet, like where he lived, there was I think it was like the biggest diamond deposit in the world. He had no idea that that was right underneath his feet. And the thing he was doing, I mean, he did have success. It's not like he died poor or anything, but just the fact that that was there, it's kind of ironic, I think. But it's an interesting story. I hope it's true. I have not, in fact checked that story. If it is not true, I am sorry and I will feel deep shame. But until we find out. But what else was there? I mean, I was out for almost a month, so did a lot of resting. I do kind of hit that burnout point where I kind of just need a break, right? I feel like that's normal, especially doing the psychic work and stuff like that. Depending on how the lives go, it can take a lot of energy. It can take a lot of just mental energy, spiritual energy. It's not to say I don't enjoy doing it. It's fun to be able to come on here and to be able to feel and be able to understand what's going on in people's lives. But there are challenges to it, right? Just like with anything else. And that's one of them. And after I'm done, each time that I get done with these lives, I sage the whole room. I have to make sure everything's okay that way. But that's something I've had to try and do, right? It's something that needs to be done. There's upkeep for sure. Okay. But what else? Besides a lot of resting, right? And then I pulled my neck, my shoulder, and yeah, I guess my neck and my shoulder would be the best way to say what I pulled. So I pulled those muscles. And when I did that, it wasn't the funnest thing, right? I got to experience the incredible power of Bengay, which is very helpful when you want to smell like a wintergreen lifesaver. It is the most helpful, but it did help actually quite a bit. And I think I was working out wrong. I did a workout and I think I did something wrong. And I had a Batman neck, where you're like this. And you have to turn your body to go with, anyway. Batman neck is what I got. and that was not the funnest. But I healed up from that okay. I feel like I'm trying to describe what I did on my summer vacation, so. What else was there? I got a new phone, switching from an iPhone to an Android. So, that's always an exciting part in someone's life when you're switching over. So, just the big milestones for me, guys, just the big ones. Let's see. But if you guys are wondering, actually, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling better. Yeah. The only caveat to me doing this now is that I'm probably going to be doing it for 2 or 3 hours instead of 5. Just because I feel like that's what was leading to the burnout. When you're doing 5-hour lives, that's kind of a lot. And so now I'm going to take that back a notch and focus on some other stuff. And hopefully I can do some more content for you guys with taking 2 or 3 hours instead of 5 each time I went live. So hopefully you guys can understand that. So we'll see how tonight goes, and then we'll see how Wednesday goes with the 2 or 3 hours. But I feel like most of you guys come on within 2 or 3 hours, it seems like. I feel like I rarely get people later coming on. But this is the phone. I'll show you guys this. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. But this phone here, so you have this right here. And then you've got this screen. And then you can go like this. And now you have that screen with all the apps and all the stuff on it. So it's a folding screen. And then you can fold it back up and it just closes down, and then you have the front display like I was showing you. Really nice. I have a pen that comes with it, so I've been doing some different like creative things using. Hey Fruity Bear, how you doing? But it actually is a pretty good phone overall. You'd be surprised. Battery life's not the best. I mean, it's a huge screen, but it works pretty well. Yes, it is, Fruity Bear. It is still open. $10 for one question. If that's what you want to do, we can absolutely do that, my friend. Yeah, it's been a minute, hasn't it? I was almost out for a month. So, how have you been doing, Fruity Bear? Or you said good. You said you've been doing good. Damn it, I did it again. It's like when someone tells you happy birthday and you look at them and say you too. There is a small chance you can be right. Most of the time you're going to be wrong, and it's a little embarrassing. Good. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear. It's good. You're having trouble getting into PayPal. Okay, trying to think what we could do. I mean, we could just do Rada, if you're wanting to do a question, let's just do super chat. Okay? Would that work for you? Let's just do a super chat. Do the $7 through super chat, and let's do it that way. If that's what you want to do. Yeah, finally getting rid of the iPhone and going fully into Android, so wish me luck, everybody. I just like Android better, right? iPhone's not bad. You're very welcome, Rada. I understand sometimes you just can't get the links working, or you can't log in and stuff like that. And especially with PayPal, if you try to do more attempts to log in, they'll think you're a scammer and then they'll lock you out. Sent for one question on Cashapp. Let me look, Fruity Bear. Okay. All right, so let me do this here, and let me go back. I put my username in case. Okay, perfect. No, you're good. You're good. Awesome. Okay, so you're next up, and then I'll read for Rada. So let me put you on the list here. Okay, let's see what we can do here. And they did lock you out. So see, that's just how it is sometimes. So I understand. I haven't been locked out of PayPal yet, but I've been locked out of one website where this was kind of funny. I'll get to your. You can ask your question when you're ready, Fruity, and I'll just say this because I thought it's a funny story. So this I go on this website and I'm feeling the effects of some, let's say some pot, right? So I'm feeling the effects of the pot, and I go into this website and I'm trying to log in, and I know my password because pot doesn't make you, it doesn't make you like you can't think unless you've done a bunch, and I didn't do a ton, right? Understand? Yes, go for it. Message me on Instagram. Absolutely. That's a smart way to do it too for privacy. I can definitely go for that. But so I'm feeling the effects of that, but I'm fine. I'm in an okay headspace. And I go onto a website, I type in my username and I type in my password. And it's always been the same username and password. It's been the same username and password for years. And I looked over it and I looked over it and I made sure I typed each letter out. I made sure everything was fine. Could not get logged in. Okay. So then I go to reset my password. And when I go to reset my password, you have to click a link and you have to go to reset your password. And when I go to reset my password, I type in what I want my password to be, which is the same one as it was before, is what I thought. And then it just told me, you can't use that password because you've already been, you can't use that password. It's the one you're currently using. And so I couldn't reset my password and I couldn't get a new one. Anyway, the moral of the story is technology likes to mess with you sometimes, right? Okay, sent the message on the IG. Let's look here. Technology is just funny that way. Absolutely. Okay, so I will not read the question out loud. Yes, you're good. Don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. Okay. Let's do this then. So I'll use these energy cards here. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I've got to pay close attention to what I say. But I think I can do it. I'm going to read it to myself one more time here, just so I understand it. It wasn't complicated by any means. I just want to make sure I get it. I'm asking it in my head, so Pretty Bear is wanting to do a privacy reading, which we can absolutely do. So let's see what we can do here. Really? For the IG, okay. All right, so Fruity Bear. Let's find out the answer to this question. Okay, so Fruity, here is what I'm gonna get, or here is what I get for this. So we get financial constraints in reverse. So that's not a bad card. Okay, so Rada, I was talking about my Instagram. Yeah. So I was talking about my Instagram being Angelus Chiron. ChanceMadsen is my name, but I don't know what you're referring to. If we're referring to PayPal, or if we're referring to Cash App, or if we're referring to, Instagram. I don't know. But so we do get financial constraints in reverse. Then we get strategy, also in reverse, which is interesting. And then we get this, we get storm warning right here. So strategy in reverse and storm warning. I'm wondering if something happened. So it's money, so like this. Try that and see if it works. I should come up on there under that. Give me 1 second, Fruity Bear. Where's my... I'll explain everything that's... Okay, I'll explain everything here. Thank you for being patient. I do appreciate that so much. Okay. What do I do here? I think I would remember to get this stuff set up ahead of time. But no, I like to play it fast and loose. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Yeah, I wasn't logged in on my phone on Cash App, so that's what I was doing there. And then Rada's just been having trouble getting things going here. But yeah, this one's working okay. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to do this. Yeah, now I'm logged in. I'm ready to go. Okay. So storm warning, strategy in reverse, and financial constraints. And so I honestly feel like with these cards here, Clum means... Okay. Try again and see what you get there. So strategy in reverse makes me think like we're focusing on maybe something happened and things are at a standstill. Fruity, would that make sense to you if things were to stand still? Or if there's a non-progressive element to whatever's happening here? Trying to be as vague as possible. A bit slow, yes. Okay, okay. So then the storm warning would be... To me, when I see storm warning, it could be things coming to a head. Things kind of either getting resolved or things not working out. That's kind of the way I look at it. But I'm going to draw some more cards here, so give me a second. Let's look at some more stuff here. So why are we getting storm warning here? Let's look at these cards. Why are we getting storm warning here? Why are we getting storm warning here? Okay, so I'm going to draw one more card. Oof. Yeah, and then I'm feeling pressure in my head. So there's energy here. I feel like there's a blockage of energy here. And I feel like maybe there's a subconscious blockage. When I see the moon card here, and then I see temperance in reverse, it's making me feel like things are not blending harmoniously. Maybe one person isn't seeing the other person's point of view or vice versa, but there's something here where there's a lack of perception, is what I would say. Hopefully that's making sense so far. You let me know what you feel with that, Fruity. Again, still trying to be... Yeah. You let me know what you feel with that. Okay. Okay. So let me make sure I'm touching on everything here. Okay. So let's look at the primary factors. So I'm going to ask the question. I feel like this was kind of getting information on what was happening here. So I'm going to ask information directly, and basically the question you were wondering about, that's what we're going to address now. I felt like we got a little bit of a backstory here, but let's look at the actual question. So let me shuffle again. You hold the question in your mind. I will do my very best. I will not doubt whatever it is I am feeling. It feels like there's communication. There's buffering. You know, sometimes how you're watching one of my videos and there can be something where things aren't quite in sync. the timing isn't right, things just feel like they're a little out of sync. That's what I'm feeling. But when there's a little out of syncness over a long period of time, it can lead to disconnect. But let me see with this here. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. So how does he feel about you? We have the Devil in reverse. The Devil in reverse, I'll explain what that means, even though I think you already know. Two of Wands. Right here. Two of Wands being kind of a choice card, a choice between passions, a choice between which way to go. Which way do I go? Kind of an energy. So the Devil in reverse, so the Devil upright is like addictive kind of things, like we're battling addictions. We're trying to work through that. We're kind of blind to the situation is what it is. When I see the Devil in reverse, it's kind of like we're letting go. So it feels to me like you're doing the work of releasing and moving on and doing your part. But do you feel that other people are doing their part? Do you feel that it's something where other people could be doing more, is what I'm feeling here. So that's something you need to ask yourself. I feel like you're doing something. The Devil in reverse is about unchaining ourselves. It's honestly, to me, it's a good card because it's like we're past that stage. We're moving past kind of a stage where nothing was really happening, and now we're focusing on having things sort of materialize for us. Is that making sense for you? Okay. Okay, so right now, Fruity, the thing that you can do is you can focus on you and kind of where it is you want to be. That's going to be what I'm going to say right here. And then when you hear that faint whisper, when you hear that faint murmur of something that you would like to do or something that you would want to do, I want you to have the courage to do what you feel like you need to do or what you feel like you would want to do. Just like you said, don't doubt whatever you're feeling, right? So the same goes for you. When in this situation, don't doubt whatever you're feeling. Let yourself focus on what's happening. Because sometimes the miscommunication can be with ourselves, not necessarily with a part of, not necessarily with a kind of a, how do I put this? It can just be a miscommunication on our part. But also, if the other possible party is not wanting to hear it or be there in that kind of situation, it does make it more difficult. So that's what I'm feeling here. That's what I'm feeling. So focus on your journey. Focus on whatever it is that you're doing, and then kind of see what happens. But I don't feel. Let me put it this way: you have 3 major arcana cards here. 2 of them are in reverse. So this card here, Temperance in reverse right here. This card is a card that can be extremism. So we're no longer balanced, we're shifting from extreme to extreme. This could be alcohol, it could be gambling, it could be any number of things, or it could just be extreme ways of thinking. Like, and when I say extreme ways of thinking, it's like, everyone loves me, nobody loves me. Everyone, no one, everyone, those kinds of extreme ways of thinking where we're very, very hard on ourselves, and then maybe we're a little too lenient, and we kind of get lax. And when that's in reverse, we could be shifting between those 2 extremes. Now, the Devil in reverse to me is we're working on fixing that. We're working on fixing this extreme, somewhat extreme kind of behavior sometimes, right? That's what I'm seeing here. Hey, Casey, yes, the list is still open. So It's and welcome. It's $10 for one question or 25 for three. We also can do some energy healing as well if that's something that you're here for. So you just let me know. But yes, the list is still open. I am reading for Fruity Bear right now, and so you would be the next person up if you were to pay. So, Fruity Bear, do you feel like that helps answer the question? Okay. A bit. Okay. I'll say it this way if I'm not being. I can be vague, but a little more specifically vague. So let's say it like this. I feel that in certain situations that we can be doing everything we can. We can be doing absolutely everything we can, and sometimes it's still not going to be the right situation because the other forces that be are not pulling their weight. They're not doing their part as possible. Um, it's kind of like if we're understanding ourselves, we're improving and we're doing something like that, but another situation isn't, then that makes it very difficult to sort of see from each other's perspective. Hopefully that makes sense. I feel like I'm playing charades. I can speak, but it's still difficult. I guess that's how it would be with me in charades anyway. But yeah, so hopefully that makes a bit more sense. It's kind of like keep doing you. I feel like things are working for you. I feel like things are happening for you. But other situations don't necessarily respond when we're doing well, right? I'm trusting my gut. I am. But trying to be vague, it's a little more difficult for me. But I can, yeah. So hopefully that helps explain a little bit more. Communication needs to be something that happens. And if it doesn't, then it makes it difficult. It just makes it difficult, right? You're very welcome. You're very, very welcome, Fruity Bear. Okay, if anyone else wants to step up to the plate, so to speak, we can do that. I'm gonna. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Let yourself, Fruity Bear. Let yourself feel whatever it is that's going on, as much as we can. And the waiting part, you know what? That's part of it. The waiting is just part of it, and that's if we got everything we wanted every time we wanted it, there'd be no point to be here, right? There's lessons, there's ways we can learn, there's things like that. I will be right back, you guys, again. So stay tuned and hold on. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, everyone. I am back. So if there's any more questions here, we can address those. If not, thinking I might vominos here soon. I'm not staying live for the 5 hours anymore. I feel like it's a little too long for me. If there are questions, though, I will stay on for as long as there's questions. I mean, up into a point, but if there's any more questions, you guys can feel free to ask. You got 5 minutes or so. I'll do 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes, and then I think I am going to call it good for the night if there's no more questions. Okay, hold on a second here. Okay, so we'll just do some talking here. Okay, Rada, that works perfectly. And then I will have, let's see. I'll be live again on Wednesday. No, Rada, you are perfectly fine. No need to apologize, okay? You are just fine. I don't want you to think you have to apologize. I'm just doing these a little bit differently. You know, the 5-hour format, doing about 2 or 3 hours. This one's going to be a 2-hour one, I'm thinking. But no need to apologize, Rada. I know you're good for it, and I know when you're ready, you're ready. I don't try to push people. When things align, when things work, they work. When they don't, you know, they don't. That's okay. That's absolutely fine. But I do appreciate you stopping by the channel and also being super supportive on Patreon. I appreciate that very much as well. But yeah, maybe we'll close out and we'll do a little bit of some energy exercise here. It's good to have you. How's work going? Is it lightened up enough to where you'll be able to stop by more often? Just gonna focus energy here, kind of close this out. So it definitely has slowed down. Is that what you're saying? Definitely too. Sorry, I tend to talk and lose my train of thought. Oh. Okay. Okay, perfect. Well, that's good. Hopefully the work slows down, but you're still doing okay financially and everything's going all right that way. Because you were on, let's see, you were really active on the channel in, I want to say like March and April, around that time. But I get it, man. Sometimes life or work comes in and it takes over. I can understand that. But like I said, I will be live on Wednesday, same time. We'll just be doing 8 to 10, 10 or 11, depending on how it's going. If there's a lot of questions being asked, I will go until 11. But I'm just probably going to be doing, like I said, about 2 hours or 3 if there's more questions. So with that being said, I think I'm going to call it good, you guys. And I want everyone to take care, okay? Everybody take care. And I will be back on Wednesday. Yeah, June around that time. That sounds about right. It definitely sounds about right. But I will see you guys. And yeah, see you on Wednesday. See you later, Rada. And